So this is a bit of an open-ended question, and it's for all three panel members to comment on. And you gave a bit of a segue in your comments there. If you had the opportunity to rewind the clock back, in my case, a good few years, some of you maybe a bit less, but if you had the opportunity to enter a student incubator today, what would you focus on?
As an entrepreneur?
Open-ended question, yeah.
Focus on as in the industry you're focusing on? Or
could be industry, or it could be what would you actually want to do within that incubator?
I mean, I think the huge, easy opportunity right now is there's a massive gold rush in consumer internet and also software as a service to enterprise over the internet. Just simply because the cost to basically get in is so low, and there's just so many industries out there that are just waiting for disruption, right? I mean, you look around you, you kind of walk down the street, you'll see, things like real estate agents, right? You go into every suburb in Australia, and there's not just one LJ Hooker. There is LJ Hooker, Ray White, Brandon Horn, blah, 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 6 of them with the most expensive real estate in every suburb in the country. And they've got these little cardboard pieces in the window, and you kind of look through and do people really actually find properties to rent and buy through looking through a window of these stores at these little cardboard bits of paper? No, 80% of the traffic now comes from Domain, real estate, .com.au, etc. So this is an industry which is ripe for disruption. The legal industry, I don't know why every time I do a financing, it costs me $50,000. I mean, I know how the lawyers work. They've got a little filing cabinet. They pull out a little template. They type in a few bunch of details and go, oh, I spent a lot of time drafting this 3-inch thick document. I'm going to charge you 50 grand. No, there needs to be like a template monster for legal, right? Look around. I mean, there's just so many businesses over and over and over again that are just ready for disruption. And so, either in consumer internet or enterprise over the internet, there's just it's just a massive land grab right now. And the great thing about doing it today as a student is, with not a lot of experience, is you don't need super deep domain knowledge, and you don't need to have deep pockets in terms of capital requirements to get going. So they're the places I'll probably start first. I wouldn't go into a business like hardware. My last business was in semiconductors fresh out of uni, which is suicide. And I guess you kind of have to be a little bit naive to enter these sort of businesses, because knowing what I know now, these businesses like suck cash. That company, my last company, I put $30 million into it, and we were still burning cash and weren't profitable until we turned into a software business. But definitely go for the ones with low capital requirements, no inventory, no physical goods, and so on.
Great, thanks, Matt. Nikki?
Okay, well, if I was back in uni and going through something like this, I would actually try and learn how to code. I really, really would. And I would find a good tech co-founder, because I think like I'm kind of the business person in 99 Dresses, and I'm like a single founder. And so like having the skills to be able to code and at least understand like what's happening on that side of the business. If I had the time and I was still in uni, I would do that. So whilst I was in uni, I started picking up programming classes so that I could learn a bit. But I'd really, really encourage that. And the other thing I'd focus on in terms of like industry is I think like for all the girls out here, there's like so many female problems that haven't been solved, because if you look at the average people and the average teams who go and start these found ups, they're made up of guys. And
with no girlfriends. So they have no idea about the female market at all. Right?
So there's so much like so many underserved niches in females. Like if you look at America, like the sites that are taking off, like Birchbox, Rent the Runway, all these like female-focused concepts, and they're like raising lots of money, and they're getting really good traction. They're creating awesome communities amongst women, because and they're really obvious concepts, but no one's executed them. So
if I can add something here, so Nikki went through Y Combinator, and the timing for her business was fantastic, because Pinterest just took off, right? And this was Pinterest, 6 months ago when she went through the program. I'd only heard about it for about a few months, and all of a sudden it's the 16th biggest website in the US, right? It's got more traffic than Craigslist. And so VCs, venture capitalists, suddenly discovered that the dark matter of the internet was women. Apparently there's all these women out there that use the internet. And it was just such a light bulb went off. Oh my God, we forgot about this complete demographic, which is like 51% of the world's population, right? And so when Nikki got on stage and goes, I've discovered crack for women, the audience just went mental, and she was like mobbed. When she said she raised a round of funding, she neglected to tell you it was like from Tim Draper, from Draper Fisher Jurvetson, all these guys who are like the godfathers of venture capital. And so, if you've got an idea of like something that the female market, which is a pretty broad thing, right? I mean, there's huge opportunity right now, and none of the tech geeks have thought about it because mainly they've been, guys sitting at home in a room with no girlfriend. So,
Matt?
I just want to quickly add something to what Matt said. When he was talking about real estate and law and all those sorts of businesses, I have another company that does IT management. We have a lot of real estate agents on the books. We have law, we have convention organizers, we have lots of stuff. And I'll tell you, every single industry that we work in by managing their IT is ready for disruption. I could give you all notes on every single industry and what you might like to do in those if any of you are interested, but real estate is sitting right there, and so is law.
Don't do real estate. I'm a chairman of a real estate company that's...
okay, don't do real estate.
We've taken that one, you have to move somewhere else.
If you want to do law, or one of the other ones, then I'll give you that. But real estate, unfortunately, I've lost that information, so I can't tell you. But going back to the question, if I was back in an incubator 10 years ago sort of thing, I would really focus on education software, which is where I actually started my first startup. It was in that space. I was in high school and I was wondering why when I did a test in software development as well, the course, why when I did got my score, why did I have to tell the teacher, go and tell her what I got? Why didn't she have a control panel that told her all those things? And that spawned into a large platform that I received funding for and everything by the time I'd finished university and was ready to do it. And that happened to be 3 weeks before the GFC hit. And it was, an unfortunate situation revolving around, how I acquired that capital. But if I could actually do it from inside an incubator, I'd really be focusing on education because it's something that matters.
If I can add just briefly to education, right? I mean, this university, Sydney University, is about to be disrupted. The entire business model behind this university is about to fall apart, right? Because there's a massive revolution that's occurring right now with online education. And the big upswing occurred last year when a guy called Sebastian Thrun, who teaches computer science at Stanford, my old uni, and also went through here, but he taught a class called Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, right? And every year, this is a second year computer science class, there's 200 students locally that do the course at Stanford, right? Last year, he offered it online with online videos, online marking, and he said, we'll do it for free. We'll allow anyone in the world to enroll, and we'll mark all your assignments and all your exams if you submit them, right? 170,000 people enrolled in this class. That normally takes 200 people. It's 8.5 times the entire student population of Stanford, right? 25,000 people graduated. The top 453 students were not Stanford students, right? This is huge. He's now said he's going to launch a master's degree for $100 online with ex-Stanford, ex-MIT, ex-Harvard lecturers. His company is called Udacity. It's received funding. It's out there. There's another one called Coursera. And now even the US universities are disrupting themselves with Harvard X and edX and all these other programs that are out there. And the reason why I think it's interesting that you guys maybe should think about education is when I say the University of Sydney's business model is about to be disrupted, the University of Sydney makes a huge amount of fee income from foreign students coming here to do master's programs and paying $40,000 a year or whatever it may be. When all of a sudden you can go online and do a master's degree for $100, would you really want to come to Australia and pay $40,000 a year to do, get your education? Or do you want to do it online if you can get Harvard, Stanford, MIT level lecturers, right? And so there's maybe opportunity in thinking about education from that perspective and going, well, how could Sydney University exist in the future, right? What services could it deliver? What's its niche? What's a niche that it could dominate in this sort of new online world, right? Because I really think, Sebastian said he sees a future not so long away where there'll only be 10 universities left in the world because all the secondary universities, we teach the same subjects over and over again in varying levels of quality in all the universities of the world. We teach computer science 1, we teach maths 1, we teach all these things 1, right? But they're taught by everyone over and over again. Why don't we get the best lecturers in the world teaching the best class in the world and just everyone does it, right? And so on. So there's a bunch of thinking you can put to this, but I think education is pretty huge, particularly because the future of this university might be at stake.
Cool. All right, thanks.